Thank you very, very much for your kindness and your generosity in inviting me to join these festivities that mark the opening of the annual convention of the Philippine Psychiatrists Association. Judging by the very poor state of mental health in the Philippine Senate, hold your annual convention within the Philippine Senate. Almost every day we are attacked by burning, screaming headlines about more and more graft and corruption in our country. Because of these negative factors in the environment, I think I shall start on a lighter note. My isang politiko na lumapit sa isang psychiatrist. Ang sabi niya, Dok, tulungan mo ba ako? Tuwing nakakatagpa po ako ng pork barrel, hindi ko mapigilan ang sarili ko na nakawin ito. Nagigilty po ako at nadidepress ng malala at matagal dahil dito. Ang sabi ng psychiatrist, sige, tulungan kita magkaroon ng self-control para hindi ka magnakaw sa taong bayan. Sumagot ang politiko, Dok, huwag po. Gusto kong tulungan niyo ako para hindi na ako mag-guilty at mag-depress. Sabi ng isang survey, 25% ng mga politiko ay umiinom ng medication para sa kanilang mental illness. Malalaking problema ito. Ibig sabihin, 75% ay hindi umiinom ng gamot. May isang babae na lumapit sa isang psychiatrist. Tinanong siya ng psychiatrist kung anong problema niya. Sabi ng babae, Dok, nymphomaniac yata ako. Sumagot ng psychiatrist, ganun ba? Matutulungan kita pero 5,000 pesos ako kada oras. Saka hindi ko kaya. Okay lang po yun, sabi ng babae. Magkano po ba overnight? Kaya niyo pa ba ako? Ganito daw ang menu ng automated answer machine ng mental health hotline. If you are obsessive compulsive, press 1 repeatedly. If you are codependent, please ask someone to press 2 for you. If you have multiple personalities, press 3, 4, 5, and 6. If you are paranoid, you know who you are and what you want. Stay on the line so you can place your call. If you are delusional, press 7 and your call will be transferred to the alien mother field. If you are schizophrenic, listen carefully and a small voice will tell you which number to press. If you are manic depressive, it does not matter which number you press. No one will answer. If you have amnesia, press 8 and state your name, address, telephone number, date of birth, credit card details, email address, and your Facebook password. If you have short-term memory loss, press 9. If you have short-term memory loss, press 9. Hang up. All operators are too busy to talk to you. If you are a politician, please hang up. There's no hope for you. Today, we are met once more with screaming headlines about alleged influence exerted by the President on the federal judges during the impeachment trial of the Chief Justice last year. The question therefore is, if that is true, assuming for the sake of argument that the accusation made by the Senator is true, then was the impeachment trial illegal? And if so, can it still be reversed by the Supreme Court? Furthermore, if it is true that the President tried to influence the Senator judges, does that make him guilty of bribery? And if so, can he be impeached based on that ground. I will therefore start with this statement because I feel compelled to respond to the privileged speech of a certain senator yesterday. If President Aquino merely confined himself to influence the outcome of the impeachment trial last year, he did not commit a crime. But if he bribed the Senate judges to convict the accused, then he is guilty of bribery as prohibited by law and as a ground for his own impeachment under the Constitution. It is not a crime for the President to try to influence the outcome because an impeachment trial is both legal and political in nature. Yun ang kaibahan ng impeachment trial. Marami doon ang dunong-dunungan sabi na completely judicial ito or legal. Pero nagsasabi, no, this is completely political. In truth, if you search the authorities, they are almost unanimous on the verdict that an impeachment trial is unique, sui generis, in a class all by itself, because it is both judicial and political at the same time. It is illegal for the President to try to influence the courts because of the principle of independence of the judiciary. But it is legal for the President to try and influence the central judges because he is the nominal head of his political party, and within bounds he has the right to protect his political survival. Now I shall deal with two issues raised by today's banner headline: the judicial review of impeachment trial and the constitutionality of the Development Acceleration Program, which is another term really for more pork barrel, particularly when it was apparently used as a bribe. On the issue of whether judicial review of the impeachment trial is now called for, I believe that the Supreme Court can give due course to a petition for review on certiorari on the ground of extrinsic fraud, which was committed outside the narratives of the trial. Our Supreme Court has developed jurisprudence unique to our country that if the fraud is part of the story of the victim against the accused, you can accuse it to review or to reverse a decision that is already final and executory. You cannot do that because that is intrinsic fraud. The judge is expected to have done that during the trial, and if you fail to do that, then the parties will have to bear the responsibility for the failure of the judge. But if there was fraud inserted outside of the trial, for example, bribing the judge, then that is called extrinsic fraud, and the Supreme Court has ruled that it can reverse a decision that is already final on the ground of extrinsic fraud. American authors conflict on whether the Supreme Court has the power to review a judgment of impeachment and conviction by the Congress. Professor Charles Black, Jr. of Yale University, writes that judicial review is not acceptable. But Professor Raoul Berger of Harvard University writes that judicial review can be undertaken by the Supreme Court. He argues that judicial review of impeachment is required to protect the two other branches of the government from the arbitrary will of Congress. I now go to the issue concerning the DAP, Development Acceleration Program, kasi ang mga senador congressman, taon-taon, ang senador mayroong work barrel ng 200 million. Ang congressman mayroong work barrel ng 70 million. Ganon sila kagalit. Nagpatakbo sila, senador congressman, para lang sa work barrel. Para nyo maintindihan kung bakit hibagsik sila sa idea na wala ng work barrel sa Kongreso. Hindi na sila tatakbo ulit. Dahil ang sweldo ng senador, for example, is 90,000 naman. Eh, ang layang-layang ang pamumuhay nila. They can no longer afford to maintain their lifestyle if there's no work barrel. That is why they're talking to impeaching President Aquino. Ganon ang mental health ng mga congressmen. Kasi may istorya, nasa isang mental asylum, nakatakas ang lahat ng inmate. Inaanak sila lahat sa 1,700 islands of our archipelago, 7,100 islands of our archipelago. Hindi sila makita-kita. Pagkatapos ang mga pulis na naghanap, pumunta sa session hall ng Senado ng alas 3. Kasi alas 3 na roll call. Aba, ang lahat ng Kasama na ulit yung Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, pero may tanggalin mo yung tao na yun. Pagkatapos, ng ilang buwan, o baka linggo lang, sinabihan ka na may dagdag na pork barrel na 15 million. Hindi lang sa panahon na yun, kundi noon pa. I remember during the impeachment trial, one lawyer for the accused said, there's a rumor going around that all the senators who will vote in favor of guilty verdict will receive additional pork barrel, and it was actually apologized by the impeachment court. Yung pala totoo. Ngayon dapat silang apologize naman. Ngayon, kung ganyan pala puro-puro, na kung mag-vote ka ng guilty, bibigyan ka ng 50 million, ano yun? Hindi ba bribery yun? Tsaka, meron pang maswerteng tatlong senador na hindi lang 50 million ang tanggap nila. Senator Juan Ponce-Enrile. I'm waiting for license to try. Who presided at the impeachment trial, kalaban niya ako. Dahil gusto niya tanggapin na siya pinakamarunong sa buong Senado. Tinuruan ko lang yan ang impeachment law niya eh. Tinanong niya ako, ano babasahin ko? So I said, read the book by Professor Black, which I just quoted to you, and the book of Professor Berger. And he did. Don't start me on that because I go on. Si Juan Ponce-Enrile, si Franklin Relon, the chair of the Finance Committee noong panahon na yun. Tapos, hindi ko maintindihan bakit. Itong si Francis Escudero, dahil takda na pala siyang magiging chair ng Finance Committee. Pero mo, pagkatapos tatlo kami na nagpapahalata na mukhang hindi kami kumiksido doon sa ebidensya ng prosecution, ako, si Senator Joker Arroyo, si Senator Ferdinand Marcos Jr., wala kami ni piso. At hindi kami sinabihan, meron palang ganon. It makes you want to ask, is it my deodorant or what? Tapos walang bribery? Ano ba kasi yun? Isn't your intelligence insulted by that kind of reasoning? Kung katulog ng braso na gano'n, magpagalitan mo, sigaw ka na eh. Ito ay pinag-usapan natin, Presidente, mga senador. If evidence shows that Malacanang paid this amount to the senator judges as a situation for a guilty verdict, then the crime of bribery has been committed, both by the President and the senators. It doesn't matter that the bribe was not given during the trial or even before the trial. The law does not specify when you should give the bribe, whether it is in the form of a gift or a present or money. The law simply says, as long as you discharge a duty in your public or official capacity in consideration of the gift or the present, that is a bribe. It does not talk about time as an element of the crime. It does not specify whether it will be before, during, or after. Basta, the basic consideration was a corrupt intent, that is bribery. Naturally, Senator Jinggoy Estrada and Senator Ramon Revilla Jr., in their respective privileged speeches, denied that the DAP funds that they received were bribes because the law punishes both the giver and the taker. And ang katanong pa ganito, kung suspetsyo na pala itong dalawang senador na ito, na mali ang ginagawa, na pinatawag sila sa Malacanang o kinausap sila tungkol sa verdict na should be guilty, at pumayag sila na bandang huli pagkatapos ng bistay, makatanggap sila ng pera, bakit sila reklamo naman ba? Anong sagot doon? May suspetsyon na pala sila, ay nag-skandalo nila. Eh, nung nangyayari na yun, bakit hindi na sila nag-skandalo? Bakit ngayon lang na tutukoy sila ngayon ng investigasyon tungkol doon sa mga police scam? Alam niyo yung police scam lang yan, ganito, nung ko pa sabi ito eh. Noon, nung bata pa tayo lahat, tanggap ng publiko na pag may pork barrel ang senator congressman, na nakawin talagang 10%. Kaya doon, pag tinawag ang 10%er, nakakaya yun, pero bandang huli, tinanggap na ng publiko. Eh lahat naman yun sila tumatanggap yung 10% eh. Pero ngayon, hindi na ang porsyento, kasi tumaas ang tumaas eh, from 10 to 20 to 30, hanggang 50%. Ganon na kalaki. That's why, ang sama ang daan natin. Puno ng, it's full of potholes. We can't even afford to replace traffic lights. We can't afford to raise the salaries of policemen so that they will be honest in the discharge of their traffic duties. Lahat yan is a result of conflation of corruption in our society. Kasi, umpisa pa lang doon sa puno, paglabas pa lang ng pera, ninakaw na ang 10%. Ngayon hindi na porsyento. Hatian na lang at wala ng proyekto. Dahil sabihin mo, I want to spend my pork barrel of 70 billion if I'm a congressman and of 200 billion if I'm a senator. For this project, I will build a school building and then in secret under the table, we accept 10%. So naging substandard na yung school nun yun. Pero ngayon hindi na. Wala nang proyekto talaga. At least noon, may resulta pa, usapan nila. Pero ngayon wala na talaga. Hatian na lang. Yun ang na-police scam. That's why it is so outrageous. Sabi niya, 1 half tapos. Lahat ipeke na natin ang mga dokumento. At nakakuha talaga sila ng pera. This is a nation of kleptocrats. What do you say? Mental health specialists.
Agree.
Di ba? If you mental health but still you're a kleptocrat, ganun. Why are we so fond of electing kleptocrats? What is their sex appeal? Pagkatapos, bakit kami tatlo? Napansin siguro na hindi kami mag-vote ng guilty, baka mag-vote kami not guilty because of the line of our questioning during the televised proceeding. Bakit hindi man kami sabihan na walang job? Merong job dito pero wala kayong kialam dahil ayaw namin na pagbukain nyo. Okay na rin sa akin yun. Pinagsikreto, pinaglilihim nila. These are all indicia in lawyers' language. These are indications of fraud. In other words, these are all indications of corruption. Di mo kaya nagsama mo? Doctors. That's why I have chronic fatigue syndrome. Ikaw kaya pumunta ka doon araw-araw, alam mo pala na ginagawa ng mga kapaligid mo. Kung hindi mo naman pala gustong balili, na lang sila lahat para matapos na. So I can end my misery. I can shoot them all because I'm a fine shot, and then I can shoot myself, tapos. At the very least, that we were excluded is an indication that this was a discriminatory practice and that is unconstitutional under the Equal Protection Clause. The law is required to treat all who are situated in the same situation equally. I hope the Supreme Court will give priority to petitions concerning the constitutionality of the DAC to have settled the burning issue of bribery in an impeachment court. If the Supreme Court rules that DAC is unconstitutional, then the usual consequence is that the central judges will be obliged to restitute and return to the government the sum of 50 million pesos each and the sum of 100 million pesos each from Senators Enrile, Drilon, Escudero. Aba, balik nila. Kung ang constitutional yun, bakit natin nagkap yun? Ano sila mga gago? Hindi ba nila tinatama ka ito? Constitutional ba ito? Wala. Kagad bukas ang palat ganyan. Meron pa ba dyan? Meron ang attitude nila. O ngayon, the Supreme Court rules that additional pork barrel named DAP is unconstitutional. That was my opinion that I expressed at that time. At ibalik nila ang pera, sabi nila, pero punta lang sa mga proyekto, hindi man pinag-uusapan yung proyekto eh. Ang pinag-uusapan ay, nagkaltas ka ba doon at magkano? May proyekto ko man lang ba? That is the final question about the moral character of our senators. Pag tinignan mo, akala mo kung sino sila. Ang gara-gara, ang tikas-tikas nila. Pagbukas mabibig nila, rock grammar lumalabas. the most involved in the pork barrel scam, Senator Juan Ponce, Senator Bingoy Estrada, and Senator Ramon Revilla Jr. are airing their defense to the media, in addition to the counter affidavits they're filing the ombudsman. Kasi kung may kaso, kriminal, ang kalaban mo, magpo-file ng kaso sa fiscal, and the fiscal will require you to file an affidavit. Yun ba you swear under oath na totoo yung sinabi mo? And then the fiscal will ask the other party to file his counter affidavit, so that the fiscal will now get to hear both sides, the affidavit and the counter affidavit. Usually ganun yan eh. Eh bakit itong tatlo na ito, hindi sila kontento na nag-submit na sila ng counter affidavits nila na privilege sa Senado, at ang isa, sa dami-dami ng pera, uwawa naman sa sunod-sunod sa advertisement sa mga diaryo, sabi niya, kung interesado kayo magpasahin ng aking counter affidavit, pumunta kayo sa website na ito. Ina-advertise niya sa diaryo. Ibig sabihin, walang pupunta sa website niya. The rule against public comment applies only when the case is pending before the court. So pwede nga naman sila magsalita ng ganon. Pero magsususpetso pa. Na ito kasi sinasabi nila sa labas ng korte o sa labas ng opisina ng ombudsman is designed to influence and pressure the ombudsman in the guise of so-called public opinion. So that is my very short comment. As I told you, I have a propensity for going on toward eternity about any comment involving the lower politics. So I'll go back to the topic unless you want me to stop now and sit down. Medical leadership. Psychiatrists should lead hospitals. Let me name some of the most famous medical centers in the world. Harvard Partner System, Mount Sinai in New York, UCLA System, Georgetown/MedStar, and New York Presbyterian Hospital. All these medical centers have a common feature in that their CEOs are all psychiatrists. This is the new normal. It indicates that psychiatrists make good leaders. Oh, huh? Therefore, psychiatric resident programs in our country should now provide the training necessary for the next generation of medical directors and CEOs. According to a paper published only last November by the American Psychiatric Association, medical residents should be more exposed to leadership roles. This exposure should consist of 3 components: specialized curriculum, experiential learning in the form of a project, and mentorship by a physician leader. Thus, medical school should cultivate leadership skills as an important component of the psychiatric profession. According to an assistant professor of psychiatry at Yale University School of Medicine, the mood of the leader should be characterized by what is called resonance. The mood of the psychiatrist affects his patient. For this reason, medical school should promote the process of self-awareness and mood management. Medical school should start training residents to become clinician leaders. To understand this new call for psychiatric doctors to take the helm of change, we have to look back how medicine has evolved. At first, doctors practiced so-called bedside medicine, and then progressed to so-called hospital medicine. After the 20th century, we are now faced with hospital service complexes with complicated hierarchical structures. The Philippines, as a developing country, faces problems within our healthcare system concerning economics and efficiency. The strong movement toward medicalization has given rise to the rising costs of our national healthcare coverage. To help solve this problem, increased importance is now being given to such practices as preventive medicine, surveillance medicine, and home care treatment. We are besieged with numerous problems such as funding constraints and demand, for greater accountability for the safety, quality, and efficacy of health care. In the face of this ascending spiral of healthcare spending, the medical profession is compelled to pay proper attention to the task of developing individual leaders and new models of leadership within the profession. If we could properly train healthcare professionals in the area of medical leadership, we could eliminate hospital inefficiency. Thus, in the Philippines, as in most other countries worldwide, we see and accept the need to develop leadership skills in medical students. Medical leadership is not mere management. Medical leadership is defined as leadership roles in the practice of medicine, which are assumed by fully trained physicians. This physician leadership includes resource managing, decision making, recruiting, medical consulting, information implementing, changes and improvements in hospitals and clinical settings. Physicians stand in the center of clinical service and delivery. Thus, these physicians have been described as, quote, the ideal leaders for healthcare in the 21st century, unquote. That is why I came this afternoon. You are the ideal leader for healthcare in my century. The term physician leadership implies qualities such as ambition, ability to sacrifice, and courage. I'm reading this to myself as a senator because I occupy a position of leadership. I have vision, I have courage, but sometimes, why am I required to have the ability to sacrifice? Just like nuns who are required to take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. I wouldn't mind taking vows of poverty and obedience, but I do mind taking a vow of chastity. Which is why I abandoned childhood dreams of becoming a nun. While a corporate leader aims for profit and time efficiency, a physician leader should aim for empathy and care for his patients. Of course, this represents a major dilemma between, on the one hand, time saving, and on the other hand, quality of care. This dilemma could be resolved if adequate leadership training is integrated into the medical curriculum. It is said that a physician leader should possess the three main qualities of medical leadership: the capacity to work in teams, the ability to personify essential leadership skills, and possession of a strong emotional capacity. The first quality for leadership is the capacity to work in teams. Therefore, hospitals must provide adequate training workshops. The second quality is personification of essential leadership skills. In Canada, the National Health Service has produced a medical leadership competency framework. This document suggests that all doctors should be able to excel in 5 different domains: personal qualities and professionalism, working with others, managing business, transforming services, and setting directions. The third quality is possession of a strong emotional quality, meaning that doctors should and master emotional intelligence, also known as EQ. This means the cultivation of aspects like self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness. In contrast to medical leadership, hospital management involves strategic planning, financial controls, human resources, and marketing. Management is mundane. That is to say, day to day, you do your job as part of the ordinary working day world. But leadership is a great skill. In a 2010 edition of the Harvard Business Review, we get this definition. Leadership is about taking people to a place they wouldn't go on their own. It is about disrupting the core and upsetting the status quo. That is leadership. Today, we need to go beyond the management focus and to truly commit to the training of strategic leaders within the medical profession. The present medical education continuum should add the following points of leadership studies: strategic foresight, thinking and design, visioneering, change, global integration, creativity, innovation, and human capital development. In more specific terms, the Royal College of Psychiatry has drawn distinct lines between leadership and management, although both are complementary to each other. I quote, "Modern leadership emphasizes the importance of relationships that may be defined as a process whereby an individual, meaning the leader, influences others to achieve a common goal. Management may be defined as getting things done well through and with people, creating an environment in which people can perform as individuals and yet collaborate towards achieving group goals and removing obstacles to such performance. Training in management and leadership should be part of the continuing professional development of all psychiatrists." Let me now deal, as part of my paper, on the topic political leadership after PDAP and DAP. I will again succeed in making myself angry, so I've already taken the precaution of taking back a press before PDAP means Priority Development Assistance 1, and DAP means Development Acceleration Program. Ang ibig kong sabihin ng pork barrel ganito, bibigyan ng bawat kasapi ng House of Representatives ng Senado, lahat sila kasi elected officials, ng definite na amount, 70 million for each representative every year, and 200 million for each senator every year. Kaya isipin mo na lang, 10% lang ng 70 million, 7 million na. 10% of 200 million, 20 million na. Eh, hindi na lang 10%, eh, 20 na ang pinaka-basic. So, ibig sabihin, instead of 7 million, 14 million kagad. Pag nanalo ka as congressman, pwede mo kaltasin yan. Kausapin mo ang contractor. Na, kasi alam mo naman mga contractors yan eh. Na, ibibigay mo sa kanya ang pera, gagawa siya itong proyekto, pero pakasyahin niya. Ang pinakasali mo na. Yan ang dahilan kung bakit napakahina ng mga public works projects natin kasi kinakaltasan niya. Ang mas malaki katanggap ng senador, mas malaki naman ang kaltas niya. Biro ang 10%, 200 million, 20 million. After that, it became 20%, so now it's 20 billion. That is 40 million every year. And that is for 6 years, times 6. O di madali nga naman, bakit ka pa mag-negosyo, mag-doktor, mag-abogado, mag-member of Congress ka na lang, congressman o senator, madali. At hindi ka pa kailangan maging marunong. Pwede kang maging law IQ. I can testify. Pag tinanong mo ng question, sagutin ka, that is a good question. Magantay ka na ngayon, kasi may susunod. Wala na pala, yung mga pala. Pagkatapos, kung ayaw mo makasama sa kanila, galing sila sa iyo. Natanong ko sila, bakit magpapukulang ba ako? Bakit ganun kayo? May pagpukulang ba ako sa statistic? Bakit? The 2016 presidential elections are now within sight of the political horizon. This will explain the increasing number of self-serving press releases from those who hope to run for president or vice president. Ngayon pala nakikita mo, sa mga front page o sa prominent pages, may mga istorya na walang kahala-halaga na lumabas tungkol sa senador na ito, sa congressman na yan. Kasi umaasa silang tatakbo na sila. Ang senador natatakbo siyang presidente o vice-presidente,